Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. It's countdown already to the gubernatorial elections, and all seem to be fair in Nigerian politics. Whatever you need to do to get an edge over your opponent, why not? If not, and that brings us down to tradition, as so many Nigerians out there believe that this is more political than traditional, while others believe that it's just tradition. It happens in many parts of Lagos State. Two states that is having much limelight shining on them, Rivers and Lagos State, because those two states happen to be the most populous in three regions, 3 states that have it: Kano, Rivers and Lagos, and those two states seem to be in full attention. Lagos is where we are heading to right now. An Oro festival is in the pipeline. Of course, the main opposition is already screaming and shouting, don't let that deter you, there's a lot at stake. Now Oro is trending. The question is, what is Oro? Why Oro, and why on election day? In a moment, you're going to find out all these juicy details. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Well, according to the news, they say voting begins at 8 a.m. and on election day, there is a police curfew that lasts until midnight. We are not doing anything different from what the police have done. Shahid Ademola Kasila III, the traditional monarch of Legoshi Kingdom, has imposed a 3-day oral right on non-indigenous people and women from midnight to 5:30 a.m., including on the day of the gubernatorial and state assembly elections on Saturday. The king informed the citizens of Legoshi in a memo that there would be limitation on mobility from Wednesday through Saturday so that the oral right could be performed in the neighborhood. People said that the curfew was imposed for political reasons, which would further disenfranchise women and non-indigenous people from voting on election day. Others warned that it would shuffle local business activity. Temitope Oyefaso, the Iketis Kingdom's monarch special advisor on media issues, stated that an oral right is taking place in the Legoshi Kingdom. An oral right is taking place in the Legoshi Kingdom. As a result, the Legoshi Community Council determined that residents and tourists should stay in their homes from midnight to morning from Wednesday to Saturday, Mr. Oyefoso said. Mr. Oyefoso denied that it would disrupt election activities on Saturday, stating, "We are not saying people should sit at home during the day like they have in other places. Elections are held during the day, and by morning we will open the roads for people to come." He continued, "It is a customary right. Unfortunately, it has come at this moment. That is an annual event, and this is not the first time that it has occurred. We are not interfering with any processes." According to him, the oral right will bring peace to the community and it occurs in all Lagos communities. He explained that non-indigenous voters registered in Elegushi will vote, stating that they will not leave their house to vote by 2 a.m. but thus they should remain in their house. Voting begins at 8 a.m. and there is a police curfew in effect until midnight on election day. We are not doing anything different than the police. It will merely start 2 days earlier. The monarch spokesman revealed that people should quit speculating rumors or being nasty about oral rituals. It is not interfering with the conduct of the election. Residents are free to walk about from the morning until 11:30 a.m. Well, Benjamin Hondayen, the police spokesperson in Lagos, they contacted him about the Oro. He said, "Do you want to talk about rumor or you want to talk about fact? I'm not engaging in heresies. They have the freedom to say whatever they want to say. I will not engage in speculation," Mr. Hondayen said. And of course, many Nigerians are reacting. Kilo Degan. What is the issue? But if you listen to what he said, except of course if they're talking about all these 11th hour meetings, meeting with your campaign people, your team workers to strategize on how you're going to do the needful, on how you're going to mobilize. Okay, that you could say that the Oro is intercepting or interrupting something. But hey, the Oro says whatever it is still midnight. So we have 8 o'clock or 2 a.m. You have 8 o'clock to vote or to come out for voting. I don't think it's really intercept, except of course, I say that again, except of course, if you're looking at behind the scene activities before the election, okay? Because if you look at it, they're saying non-Indigenes and women, which means all the people that are not from Legacy, please don't come out. All the people who are not from Lagos, Majade, don't come out. It means if your Oro catches you or your own. But of course, most other people are discussing this. They're worried about it, and legal practitioners are also beginning to look at the dynamics of this Oro. Toriolo is his tradition, and this is election. Which is higher? Is it Oro that's going to be higher, or the election, which is the Constitution of Nigeria, which should take precedence? Well, according to Malcolm Omahobo, it's actually a lawyer par excellence. He did say something quite unique. He said, look, it is shocking that in the 21st century, Oba Legacy can, with audacity and impunity, declare to the resident of Ikete Elegusi that there would be a restriction of movement on non-Indigenes and women from midnight to 5:30 a.m. during elections. Now looking at it, he's coming from the angle of constitutional rights. We should have freedom of movement. That's what they say literally. All right, but those traditional monarchs will tell you, look, with freedom of movement or not, it is not an everyday thing. Oro is just few days, sometimes even a few hours, and they should be respected and all that. But the question is, why now? People are reading political undertones to it, and a lot of Nigerians are reacting as well. Just take a few comments and we'll wrap this up. This one here says, what has 21st century got to do with tradition? They still practice it down to Ikorodu, Badagry, Ikotun, Awori land, also Ekpe. Don't underestimate these areas, Another person here says, so tradition is now above national election? That's another question. Another person here says, whether or not election must hold on Saturday and APC will lose, we must free Lagos from Agberu and talks. There have been some prophecies though. The same prophet that prophesied that Peter Obi would lose the election because it will be manipulated, but eventually he'll be sworn in. But it's not going to be sworn in on the May 29th, but it's going to take some long time because there'll be legal tussles on that. But eventually Peter Obi will be sworn in as the president of Nigeria. That was his prophecy, and 60% of his prophecy have already played out, and he made that prophecy long before the election began. You see the same prophet now also telling Nigerians as well that just relax, that Sanwo-Olu will still win. So we are waiting. The beautiful thing about prophecy is that it has a timeline. So just some few hours time, we're going to find out if Sanwo-Olu will take the day, or it's going to be GRV, Gbadebo, Vivo, Roads. But let's find. We're going to find out in some few hours time. Well, I guess I was going to wrap it up. What's your take on this oral thing? Do you think it's political, or do you think it's just tradition coming coincidentally and on the day?